Hey everyone, welcome back to another New World video. I hope that everybody is having an absolutely fantastic day, and in today's video I want to talk about some of the upcoming trading post updates that are going to be probably happening in the next couple of weeks. But before we actually dive into that information, we're going to cover the article at newworld.com just in case you guys don't know about this change. And then I'm going to go over some of the things that I think are going to drastically change, and even some of the things that I'm probably going to be doing differently. And honestly, I'm going to address some of the things that I think that maybe you guys will want to get involved with right now before this change actually happens. So stay tuned for that. But before we actually go any further inside of this video, I do want to address a couple different things. Number one is I do want to thank you guys for the support and the views here on the videos. They definitely help me out. I have a lot of gold guides here on the channel, and I'm working on a lot of other different builds and things like that. So definitely make sure you guys check out all of my videos if you haven't done that already. Number two, I do want to address something that's going to be changing on YouTube as a whole and not just a New World aspect, but that is the like and dislike comment section. The little thumbs up, little thumbs down is completely going away, and nobody's going to be able to see how many people like and how many people dislike. The only person that will actually be able to see that is the channel owner themselves, and that is it. It's going away. To basically, they're getting rid of it because of negativity that is already happening inside of the YouTube community, and people are only basing their viewership and their upvotes on what that current like and dislike ratio is. And that means that my channel has already taken that effect, and I've already decided to actually go ahead and do that. But other channels will be forced into this at some point or another. But anyway, let's go ahead and dive into today's video. So the trading post update, which is as follows. So this means that all trading posts will be linked and will now be unified, and you can buy and sell the same results from any trading post within the world itself. Now, fees for buying and that sell order are going to be defined on whatever settlement you're actually posting them from. So you could list it up in Morningdale, and that's where the fees are going to be associated with, but then anybody can sell it anywhere they would like. And then additionally, transaction taxes are going to be defined by whatever settlement you're currently in when you go and do that. So say you want to sell it at the settlement that's actually charging the cheapest as far as the rates go, and then you can buy it all the time at whatever one has the least amount of taxes. So you could actually kind of double dip. So you could save a little bit of money as far as listing it, and actually spend a little bit less money on taxes depending on where you guys go in your world and whatever the settlements are deciding to change it. So in my opinion, it would actually be really wise that all settlements just decide that they're going to go ahead and charge the exact same amount of taxes, because otherwise Everfall just might not be where it's going to be at going forward. Just kind of throwing that out there, or Windsward for that matter. So, and then items that you have sell orders on will expire, will actually return to the storage of that settlement in which they were originally posted. Again, if you post something up in Morningdale, it's not going to come to a storage down in Everfall. It's going to stay up in storage in Morningdale. So if you're looking for something that doesn't sell, it's going to be wherever you list it at. So if you're making multiple listings just all over the place, you might be traveling around the world just to get the items that you were originally looking for. So that could completely change, in my opinion, about where houses will even be at, because I have a house here in Everfall just because it's my hub to sell things. This is because this is where everybody comes to buy stuff. So that might change. I might move it to a completely different location here in the next coming weeks, and we'll just have to see what happens a few weeks after the changes are implemented. So there's that. So let's go ahead and kind of run over to the trading post and kind of go over some of the things that I believe are going to change beyond just what I've already described. So the first thing, I'm just going to kind of go over something that I like to get involved with, and that is the vial of suspended Azov. I've been able to get these for extremely cheap, and I've been able to get a ridiculous price margin on these depending on where I'm currently selling them at. So right now in Everfall, the cheapest is $80. And I believe that's actually probably one of the cheapest everywhere. Windsward is actually the cheapest, so that's all right. So pretty close. It's only a $7 difference. But if we wanted to go ahead and just get rid of all of these, and say, like myself for an example, I've actually sold some up in Mountain Home you can make $20 more for them. And then once they actually sell, those 7 sell, you can actually increase it by another 20. That is going to be going away. So something that I was getting for 10 to 20 coins a piece and then turning around and selling them for 100 to 170 pretty easy and making a huge amount of profit is going to go away. Now, this change will definitely help buyers, but I think is ultimately going to hurt sellers, which in my opinion means that people are just not going to list as much stuff on the market anymore. What they're going to do is, if it's relatively cheap and prices significantly drop on certain items, instead of selling them, they're either going to hoard them for themselves or do something with them as far as getting their crafting levels in whatever trade skills they're trying to work on. They're going to keep it for that, or they're just going to dump it off. And then that just means that, you know, they just won't make anything from it, and nobody will actually benefit from some of the work that they put into it. They were just looking for something very specific. Now, is that going to happen in all the cases? No, but we'll definitely see a lot of prices on the market being dictated, because what's going to happen, instead of just going around to different settlements, being able to kind of win that specific price, now you got to compete with the entire server. It does not matter where you list it at, and now people are always going to be gouging the price at $73. So now the next one's going to be listed for $72.99, or somebody's going to really drop the price and it's going to be listed for $50 just so that they can sell it. And you're going to see a lot of craziness, I think, happening within the markets, which is going to be really good for the buyers. Now, there is going to be a slight adverse effect to that, and I don't know specifically what items this was going to affect, because this is just opinions. And I think vials of Azos, I think you're going to see drop a little bit. Now, part of me does think that you're actually going to see some people increase them. It's going to be seeing an increase of price. And the reason is if we actually look at the map here, especially once you become a level 60, you go up here and you might not necessarily be able to get back. So I'm carrying a decent amount of weight, but nothing near what my capacity is or my encumbrances is able to carry. And say we went up there and you're going, oh crap, I don't have enough to get back. Well, instead of paying a ridiculous price up there, which right now it's not even that bad, it's 99 coin versus 73, so really you're only saving 20 per bottle, and depending on how much you need to get back, you might be saving a couple $100, right? Well, so you had two options. You had to run all the way back to wherever you needed to, or at least get to a lower point in the map to get somewhere where you needed to at a cheaper Azov cost, or you were stuck paying the higher price. Now there's no such thing as a higher price. You're not going to be paying for it. You're going to be paying for everything. So that means in some aspects, the vials of Azov could go up, depending on if people decide to go, oh, well, I only want to buy as many as I need to actually get out of here. But they might see that the price is really cheap, and they just might buy all of them because the prices are good to them. And that's what they're willing to pay, because that's what it's worth to them. So, and then all of those could come out of the market, and that means the next person that lists it will actually be able to, you know, possibly list it for 10 coins higher than what the previous listing was, because somebody had just recently purchased all of them. It's kind of a hit and miss of what's going to happen. It's really one of the extremes is going to happen, but ultimately this does help the buyer with whatever that you are specifically looking for. You're looking for ammunition for your musket. You can find it now at the cheapest price, and it does not matter where you actually go there. That's fantastic. Same thing with jewelry. You don't have to go around, or armor or weapons. You don't have to. You find something that you're specifically looking for that matches what your character build is, and you're able to purchase it no matter where you're at. So that means you're always going to get the best prices, which ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, that means the price of the market is going to come down, because everybody has to compete for it. It's not just the specific settlement anymore. The other thing that it's actually going to be changing for me specifically is buy orders. Now you can come in here and you can buy whatever you want. I'll just use garlic as an example here, just real quick. So you can come in here and you're like, okay, I'm going to place a buy order, right? And you can see that right now our current buy order is for $7.15. Now, I would never pay that. That is just an insane amount of money. But I would definitely sell that to somebody right now for them and go ahead and make a killing. Do I really have No, that's how many I can buy. I was gonna say that's how many I currently have. But selling $7 a piece for a garlic that I know I can get really quickly is going to actually work. Now, the only time that I ever plan on placing buy orders once this changes is if I know I can get something for a steal. But again, you're competing with every single settlement, so you know that somebody is always going to increase the price of what somebody else is looking for, because if you're looking for garlic, you know that somebody else is just offering $7.15 for it. You have to offer more if it's something that you really want, or you have to go and get it yourself. Those are now your two options. So you either got to increase it to $7.16 or even higher, or get to grinding and collecting it yourself. It's going to be craziness, I think. As a buyer, in certain aspects, I think it's going to be great. But as a seller, I think this is actually a bad idea for the economy, because the less, I mean, you don't need to have thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars. It's just not needed. You don't have to have thousands. Now, the only time that you actually need money is when you're originally buying a house, because especially once you hit that territory standing of level 30 in whatever territory you're at, and you're trying to buy a $20,000 house, especially if it's not your first one, you need to have a lot of coin, and then you have to maintain that every single week. I think home ownership is actually going to dwindle potentially from this change, unless people can always maintain to keep up with the taxes, because even my house in Everfall is almost $800 or 800 coin every 5 days, which in my opinion is ridiculously high. But you guys will have to let me know what you guys think about all the changes that's going to be happening with the trading posts, and what things that you think are going to be happening here in the next coming weeks. So if you guys like to have buy orders for a lot cheap, and you want to be able to make a decent price somewhere else, buy them in Everfall, sell them down in First Light, you better do it now, because you're running out of time, because it's already been posted that at some point this is going to change. We just don't know when as of right now, but probably fairly soon. But till next time, YouTube, you guys keep doing what you're doing, because you're already doing it, and you guys stay gaming.